Calling all operatives. From now to March 30th, MGM National Harbor invokes your skills to play Covert Cash, a spy-themed kiosk game series where classified missions, hidden rewards, and daily thrills await. Sign up for MGM Rewards to play and unlock up to $25,000 in hidden free play daily and entries into our Grand Escape car drawing on March 30th. Visit mgmnationalharbor.com/Covert Cash to begin your mission. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Cyndi Lauper. My psoriasis was all over, even on my scalp, which may mean 4 times the risk for psoriatic arthritis. But Cosentyx works on both.
Cosentyx secukinumab is prescribed for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis 300 milligram dose and adults with active psoriatic arthritis 150 milligram dose. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for TB, serious allergic reactions, severe skin reactions that look like eczema, and an increased risk of infections, some fatal, have occurred. Cosentyx may lower ability to fight infections, so tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if IBD symptoms develop or worsen. Learn more at Cosentyx.com or 1-844-COSENTYX. Ask your doctor about Cosentyx.
I'm your host, Annie Bowles, and this is News du Jour. Welcome to News du Jour. You may be wondering, why am I, Annie Bowles, here hosting this podcast? I usually start by telling people I'm a political baby. You see, my parents met working on Capitol Hill. By the time I was 2, I had been in my first political commercial and even got lost crawling around the West Wing. Don't worry, Al Gore found me. My family then moved abroad when I was 9, and I attended an international school in Brussels with kids from all over the world. And it is this type of global perspective that I also bring to our show. I graduated from American University in DC after studying political science and art history, as well as interning on both sides of Capitol Hill. I even interned down the hall from where my parents met. I'm now pursuing a professional certificate in journalism at NYU in conjunction with Rolling Stone magazine. I guess I was always that friend in the group who cared deeply about not just what was going on politically, but also globally. I often kept my own friends informed through high school and into young adulthood, so I guess I've always done a version of this show. I'm genuinely passionate about following the news, and I'm here to break it down for you guys every weekday. We always strive to be a calmer space to get your news. Or, as one listener put it, like getting your news from a well-informed bestie. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, you guys, we have so many very, very interesting stories to go over today. So buckle up for a very crazy and bumpy ride. Before we jump in, though, I wanted to let you guys know that we will be seeing some movement, more likely than not, with our bill this week. There's things that I know about in the works that I cannot talk about, but they're very exciting, and I wanted to make sure that you guys are following us. So we have 2 accounts that are covering the bill. Obviously, I'm covering it on my pages as well and on this podcast. But if you're interested in plugging in a little bit more into the survivor justice realm, you can follow OK Survivor Justice on Instagram and OK_Appleseed on Instagram as well. They're the groups who are really doing the legwork here. The OK Survivor Justice group is actually a coalition. So it's a group of different businesses and philanthropic efforts coming together, you know, with separate missions, but all in support of survivorship. So if you're interested in joining the coalition or just engaging more, definitely check out those pages. So first and foremost, we have one mini story about President Biden. Then we're going to jump into talking about the Haitian gangs. Then I'm going to be breaking down for you guys all of the Princess Kate craziness, because shit has actually gone off the deep end, and I wasn't covering it because a lot of it's just like rumors and conspiracy theories and like speculation, but we're gonna lay out exactly what's what for you guys, and then we're gonna cover the Oscars, of course. So let's go ahead and jump in. First up, like I said, I have a mini story for you guys. Things really heated up between President Biden and Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, over the weekend. President Biden gave an exclusive interview to MSNBC after the State of the Union address, where he said that Netanyahu was, quote, hurting Israel more than helping Israel, end quote. And obviously, he is not the only person who feels that way, but he is someone with a much more direct line of contact with Netanyahu and insight into his decision making. So I definitely thought this was an interesting comment coming from President Biden, who is, sworn to stand by Israel through all of this, that he is not a fan of Netanyahu's decisions. And as an additional reminder, Ramadan began on Sunday evening, creating more tension than usual in the war zone. So we'll definitely keep you guys posted as events continue to unfold. And that takes us over to Haiti. So things have reportedly escalated in Haiti, you guys. The gangs have been successful in taking over the airport. So this is something we were hoping would not happen, but it has. The 3-day state of emergency has now been expanded to over a month. The U.S. Embassy has also been evacuated due to safety concerns for our personnel on the ground in Haiti. They airlifted any non-essential personnel from the island, and military presence has grown in order to protect the remaining staff. Haiti's main port also announced that it was suspending operations on Thursday due to all of the vandalism caused by the gangs. Experts, though, have said on NPR's Up First that the U.S. should not meddle in this, that Henri, the prime minister, was not actually elected by the people, and that we should really allow for him to fail if that is the will of the Haitian people. And it turns out that Henri has actually tried to fly back to Haiti on Tuesday, but he couldn't. He tried landing in the neighboring Dominican Republic, but they had said that they had not been provided with the necessary flight plans, which does seem a little bit sus. I don't really know very much about how airplanes land and whatnot, but it seems with a political leader who's trying desperately to get back home, you'd let them land. But Henri landed in Puerto Rico instead, so he's closer than Kenya now, but he still has not spoken out about the violence ensuing back in his besieged homeland. Antony Blinken, though, the U.S. Secretary of State, a very busy man these days, he will probably have quite the book to write one day. He has spoken to Henri, however, and reported that, the U.S. is here to reinforce him and back him up, essentially. That said, a prominent gang leader nicknamed Barbecue has vowed that if Henri does not step down, there will be a civil war and potentially a quote-unquote genocide. Barbecue's words, not mine. We'll definitely keep you guys posted. Okay, and with more serious subjects covered, we're going to head into the Princess Kate craziness. Okay, guys, so what has happened most recently is that Princess Kate has apologized in a bizarre series of events. But in order to fully explain what just happened, I kind of have to go back a little bit, so bear with me here. We're going to break down this whole scandal. So prior to recent events that we're going to get into today, people were already suspect that Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton, was literally missing. I don't give too much breath to these types of rumors or conspiracies because 99% of the time, they are just that, rumors or conspiracies that turn out to be completely untrue. Kate gave a reasonable explanation for her absence and then, like she said she would be, began laying low. Nothing about that gives me a red flag. If she was having a very serious health concern, she might not want to share that with the entire world, like all the details of that. So this to me kind of made sense as a public figure, but the internet felt otherwise. So let's discuss a little of the background that led up to this current PR fiasco. First off, the cheating scandal. So for years at this point, it has been rumored that there has been an ongoing affair between Prince William and Lady Rose Hanbury, their next door neighbor. Only because these are estates, they're probably like acres away from one another, I would guess. But in Prince and Princess land, they are next door neighbors because their estates abut one another. Anywho, just like his father's cheating scandal, Rose is not the beauty that Kate is. However, she is higher born than Kate in terms of the British hierarchy. And I just wanted to note all of this because it will become relevant later. So then, as we have covered in this show, Kate told the public that she has undergone abdominal surgery and will need to lay low until Easter. We weren't given much more detail than that it was some kind of serious surgery. This is unusual for royals, but also, to me at least, felt understandable because no one really knew what kind of surgery we were talking about here. You know, maybe it was something, maybe she's getting her gallbladder removed or kidney or who knows? She could have cancer. We don't know. We didn't get that kind of detail. So it could be something serious. And, you know, in an effort to respect her privacy, I didn't dig into it much more than that. But that is when a bunch of people online believe that she actually went missing. And internet sleuths, particularly on TikTok, were full on investigating this. But guys, back in the day, there was a very seriously similar theory about Paul McCartney, and he was very much alive and well, living on a sheep farm for a little while. And more recently, Tiffany Dover, a nurse, underwent a similar situation in the wake of COVID-19. There is an entire podcast about it. She fainted on news coverage about the vaccines, and anti-vaxxers were literally convinced that she was dead, and they stalked this woman trying to prove that she was dead, when in reality she was very much alive and just wants to be left alone after trying multiple times to show the press that she was indeed alive and well. It's almost impossible to satisfy people who think someone is dead or missing, because if the person does appear, they often claim it's a look-alike or a doctored photo, etc. You can just spiral forever on this. But this is where the royal family literally did themselves zero favors if Kate is fine. That brings us up to the present, when a photo was posted of Kate Middleton and her children to the Prince and Princess of Wales Instagram page. Now, if this had simply been an old photo of them, it wouldn't have necessarily squashed rumors, but it also wouldn't have caused such a stir. But instead, it appears that a photo was posted that was badly photoshopped in multiple places. What's more, Kate also appeared without her wedding ring, something that in the wake of all these cheating rumors, you would think the palace would be extra wary of. Kate quickly apologized online via an online post, or, someone did for her, claiming that she was the one who experimented with Photoshop, and because she's an amateur photographer, it turned out badly. This simply added fuel to the fire, you guys, because it seems like probably the most messy and unlikely explanation possible. The internet sleuths also pointed out that a puff piece about who is Lady Rose Hanbury popped up in The Independent. They tout her fashion sense, that she was a former model, that she discovered Kate Moss, and they talked about her vacations with Tony Blair and more. They even legit, you guys, listed the tuition at her boarding school, which was very strange, almost like to say, hey, I wasn't poor before I married a lord. But they did name Kate Middleton as a close friend of Rose's right at the end, and they mentioned her husband in the article as well. So maybe the piece was designed to squash the affair rumors, but it had just the opposite effect. People are likening this to when Princess Diana was making her exit from the royal family, and Prince Charles, obviously now he's King Charles, was trying to do everything he could to build up Camilla in the press. But it was a losing game because Diana was, well, Diana. She was the people's princess, and although Kate may not have the same warmth or like as fearless of social causes as Princess Diana, she is certainly a favorite among the current royals and pretty beloved, and I doubt if anyone could eclipse her, even if they tried.
Hi, I'm Cyndi Lauper. My scalp was covered with psoriasis. Felt like I was trapped between a rock and a hard place. Then I started Cosentyx.
Cosentyx secukinumab is prescribed for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis 300 milligram dose. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for TB. Serious allergic reactions, severe skin reactions that look like eczema, and an increased risk of infections, some fatal, have occurred. Cosentyx may lower ability to fight infections, so tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if IBD symptoms develop or worsen. Learn more at Cosentyx.com or 1-844-COSENTYX.
Cosentyx works for me.
Ask your doctor about Cosentyx.
VR training platforms, like the one developed by Fundamental VR and Orbis International, are helping surgeons train over and over before operating on real patients.
As you practice each skill, the muscle memory starts to develop.
Learn more at meta.com/metaverseimpact.
I think all of this could be quelled by the end of the month with Easter, when Kate makes a speech or two with her husband by her side. Or it could definitely go the other way, where Kate, who I doubt is actually disappeared, but maybe she's taking some private time to mourn the loss of a relationship, a marriage, rather than the loss of a kidney or something like she had told the public. These are certainly bizarre and unprecedented times for the royal family, but the royal family hasn't really existed in the digital age, fully up until recently with all the social media. So I definitely think this is the dawning of a new age where we're even more entrenched in the lives of the royals. And it's just, again, something I will definitely keep an ear on. I hope she's okay, whether physically or emotionally, and we'll keep you guys posted if we hear anything else. And that brings us to the Oscars. So I just wanted to go over some stars of the evening and some snubs, things that stuck out to me. Let's jump in. As you guys may have already heard, the Oscars were Sunday night and Oppenheimer cleaned up. That said, I wanted to discuss some of the bigger moments of the night beyond the Oppenheimer of it all. So you guys know I was very invested in Lily Gladstone from Killers of the Flower Moon. I really thought she made that film, carried it on her back, TBH. I haven't stopped thinking about her character since I watched it. She was powerful. Someone I think will really stick with you, But Emma Stone, who is a phenomenal actress, won Best Actress over Lily, and it was heart-wrenching. That said, I did not see Poor Things, the film that Emma starred in, prior to the Oscars, so I will definitely be watching that ASAP to see if I felt she rose above the impact of Lily Gladstone's Molly. We shall see. I'll let you guys know what I think. From there, I wanted to talk about Da'Vine Joy Randolph, who won her first Oscar and gave a touching, tearful speech. It truly felt like a Cinderella moment with her in her pale blue gown and her blonde hair and just being the belle of the ball in that moment. She's definitely a fan favorite and someone just a lot of people were rooting for, and I personally love her sense of style. Like, everything she wears to me is just delicious. That said, America Ferrera was also up for the same award, and I know a lot of people were obviously connected with her in her role in Barbie, particularly in the monologue that has gone viral on the internet, speaking the contradictions of the female experience out loud. So I'm sure there are those who were bummed that she did not win for that role, especially given that Barbie was passed up for a lot of the bigger awards when it came to nominations, Best Director, Best Actress, etc. And that brings me to the Ken of it all. We have to talk about this because let's just say that he stole the show. I would say that despite the fact that Barbie was passed up for Oscar wins, Ryan Gosling was the moment in his performance of I'm Just Ken. He was wearing a hot pink glittering suit. The whole performance ended with hot pink fireworks exploding. He serenaded Margot Robbie from the seat behind her, which essentially became the meme of the event. And it is kind of strange how a movie can be such a cultural phenomenon, such a cultural moment, and still not be seen as worthy of even one award. But maybe that's the point. Anything too feminine, too fluffy, too pink, too glittery is always going to be seen as frivolous, no matter what an impact it makes or how financially successful it is. And that brings me to Jimmy Kimmel's political ending. I thought this was so funny, you guys. I did not know what direction he was headed in when he began speaking, but I legit spat out my wine at the punchline. Here's what he said. Quote, I just got a review, and has there ever been a worse host than that of Jimmy Kimmel at the Oscars? His opening was that of a less than average person trying too hard to be something which he is not and never can be. Get rid of Jimmy Kimmel. Let's see if you can guess which former president just posted that to Truth Social. Anyone? Well, thank you, President Trump. Thank you for watching. I'm surprised you're still up. Isn't it past your jail time? End quote. Oh my gosh. And that was the end of the Oscars, you guys. So it was definitely a giggle moment for someone who is a political nerd like I am. And that for today is the news du jour. Today, I wanted to leave you guys with the quote, laughter is an instant vacation. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you use to listen. A rate and review on that platform or a shout out on social media would mean the world to us and help us to be able to keep creating the news du jour and reach more people who need a calmer space to consume the news. But the best way to support all of our work is to become a patron at www.patreon.com/Sugar Free Media, and that is also linked in our show notes. You can follow us on social media at newsdujour.podcast on both Instagram and TikTok. You can follow my personal account at It's Annie Bowles on both platforms as well. Any little noises you may hear in the background are my rescue pup. He has a little separation anxiety and always records with me. We appreciate you listening and look forward to telling you about the news again next time on News du Jour.
Broadcasting from Oklahoma.
Hi, I'm Cyndi Lauper. My scalp was covered with psoriasis. Felt like I was trapped between a rock and a hard place. Then I started Cosentyx.
Cosentyx secukinumab is prescribed for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis 300 milligram dose. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for TB. Serious allergic reactions, severe skin reactions that look like eczema, and an increased risk of infections, some fatal, have occurred. Cosentyx may lower ability to fight infections, so tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if IBD symptoms develop or worsen. Learn more at Cosentyx.com or 1-844-COSENTYX.
Cosentyx works for me.
Ask your doctor about Cosentyx.
Dental Associates of Northern Virginia redefine what it means to visit the dentist. Get top-quality, personalized support from committed experts who prioritize the well-being and satisfaction of you and your family. Care is centered on a highly personalized treatment plan, backed by the trust and support of long-lasting relationships. Schedule your next appointment by visiting
What do you expect from an SUV? Versatility? A range of sizes built to fit your life? A range of exteriors that all invite stares? Or being able to take control of more than just the wheel? Expectations matter, but exceeding them matters more. How we get there matters. The Audi family of SUVs. Progress you can feel.